Hey, if this is your first time coming to the channel, I'd like to welcome you. This is Lessons Learned with Pancreatic Cancer. My name is Willie. So, I was originally diagnosed with pancreatic cancer back in December 2023. I've posted a video kind of taking you through the process of when I was notified and kind of some of the things I dealt with in the beginning. And now this is kind of like 6 months later from that. So, I'm going to try to get better about posting these videos more often because there's so much that happens in between all these appointments that I have that it starts to become like a distant memory if I don't like jot it down or do a video about it. But since then, since my last appointment, which I think was in August, um, I've had multiple appointments since then. I've had appointment the 31st of August. I've had one in November, obviously one in December, and then I had my one in February. During those different appointments, obviously, if you're dealing with this cancer, you know that you'll get your blood work done. And then for me, I usually get my blood work done, and then a week later, I come back and see the doctor. Now, in the beginning, they used to do it where you would see your doctor the same day you get your blood work done. But I see why they changed it because they want to give the doctor time to look over your results and see, how effective your body is to the treatment or any issues you may be having along the way. So, I'm okay with that. I know there's a lot of people that at least get seen at my cancer center. They didn't really like that at first because it's multiple visits, but I don't have nothing else to do. I'm retired. So it's just a matter of me just living to go to these appointments and just trying to make the best out of it in between. So I'll first talk about the CA19 results. So my CA19 results in August 30th was, I think it was a 9. And then my results November 19th was 6. And my results December 18th was 7. And then my last one, February 3rd of the new year, was a 6 again. So already know, full disclosure, I'm not trying to say that the CA19 interprets my level of success with cancer treatment or lack thereof. It's an indicator. I know that up front. That's the first thing a lot of people tell you when they're dealing with pancreatic cancer, like don't trust the CA19-9 number. For me personally and me alone, I could say the number has been very effective. I have been able to determine off that number, like where I was in relationship to the cancer treatment. And I know it doesn't work like that for everybody, but for me, I've had success with that. There's some people that don't carry certain, I think it's antigen properties in their body where that number reflects a true reading for them. So I can tell you if my CA19 number gets above 200, I'm having a bad day. My last time, or when I was first going through the chemo treatment itself, it got all the way up to like 800 and something. I was having a horrible life at that point, and that's 800. That's considered on the low side in terms of just numbers, nothing else. There's people that get all the way up to like 1 million on that. I can't even imagine what that would feel like for my body. But I can tell you, since I've been in the single digits, well, even before the single digits, when I was around like 20s and stuff like that, I wasn't having no more pain. So I just wanted to give you an update on my CA19 number first and foremost. In between that, during all my blood work appointments, I usually get my port flushed, and my port is up here. I dread getting that done. I don't know what it is. I think it's something psychological. It's like you feel like it's bringing back trauma, like a traumatic event you had. When they go to stick me with that needle to draw my blood and flush out my port, automatically I'm thinking I'm back in that chair, back in the treatment room, going through that again. So I hate getting that done. I know I have to definitely get it. And usually my doctor schedules that every 6 weeks at a minimum. I usually get my port flush. So I'm coming up on another port flush here, I think March 17th. And pretty much from there, then it'll be another 6 weeks from that. Also, too, since the last time I talked to you, I've had two more PET scans. No, I've had, yeah, two PET scans since then. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to look at this little note here. And it's like I have to look at this because there's no way I'm going to remember all these appointments. But I had a PET scan on September 9th, and then I had one on December 19th. So on my one on September 9th, it was, tumors were still shrinking. It was getting very, very small numbers for the measurements or the diameter of the tumors. Then on my December 19th appointment that was the first time that I had like a no evidence of the disease itself. Okay. The terminology, or when you hear people say NED, a lot of times people get really happy with hearing that. But I was happy until I went until my doctor explained everything to me. I'll tell you the thing about my doctor, my oncologist. He's a very serious man, every once in a while I can get him to smile. I'll say something silly or have a silly question that he's probably haven't heard before, and he'll answer it and he'll kind of chuckle a little bit. But he really doesn't talk in terms of like no evidence of the disease, you're cancer free. He doesn't talk like that. And I personally don't try to get that out of him. And what I mean by that is I want him to be 100% honest with me, 100% transparent. I know what things look like, and I know what I hear people say in different cancer groups or Facebook groups that I'm in that is like support groups. And people are really excited about when they say, oh man, yeah, I've been NED for X amount of months or X amount of years. So I asked my doctor, because going into that appointment, me and my wife was thinking like, wow, maybe now, he's going to give me a break off of this Lynparza that I've been taking in this maintenance pill that I must say I'm still taking. I take it twice a day. I take 2 pills, so 4 pills a day I take of Lynparza. I know the last time I talked to you about the Lynparza, just going to give you a little update on that too real quick. I was probably taking 600 milligrams a day. Now I'm down to taking 400 milligrams a day. Not because of the success of the treatment itself and my doctor want to lower the dose. It was because of how my body was responding to it. My numbers were kind of getting out of tolerance of what he felt comfortable with. My blood work was indicating that I started having like high numbers in the wrong places. So my doctor adjusted my Lynparza dosage, and I think it's been adjusted twice overall. Well, maybe this is the 3rd time. But anyway, right now, that's what I'm at for Lynparza, still taking that 400 milligrams. But, so going into that appointment, me and my wife was thinking like, oh man, he's going to cut back on the dose even more. Or maybe he's going to just give me a break from Lynparza. Like, hey, you're doing such a good job. Hey, you earned a break. Go ahead and take some time off. That's what I was thinking going into the appointment. Now, I can tell you when I got to that appointment, and when I got there and the doctor sat me down and we were talking about the results, he did say, man, this is really good. You've shown a lot of improvement overall. He's like, I think we'll just continue the same course we've been on. It seemed like it's pretty effective. So I'm waiting on more than that. I need more than that. It's like the same course means like I'm still coming to all these doctor's appointments. I'm still getting PET scans. I'm still taking my maintenance pills. So I'm thinking it was like, hey, there's going to be a different course that he's going to bring up. So I just flat out asked him, I was like, well, doc, since you tell me by looking at my PET scan that there's no evidence of the disease, that means I'm cured. I mean, I'm good now, right? I can go back to my normal life. We can go ahead and shake hands, call it a day. Nice knowing you, and I can go on with my life. And he looked at me, kind of smiled, and his normal little chuckle he gave me. He was like, Willie, it doesn't work like that. He said, I wish it did, but that's not how this is played, you know? So I asked him, I said, well, explain. He was like, well, just because there's no evidence of the disease and there's no tumor markers or there's no tumors there, it doesn't mean the cancer is not still there. He said it's there on a microscopic level. So when he told me that, it made sense. I'm not going to lie. The logical side of my mind was thinking like, hey, this makes sense. Didn't make it any less depressing to hear that, because I hear of all these people telling me how they're Ned and this and that. But what it did make me think about, and I kind of asked him, but I can't even really remember what his answer was. But I asked him, like, well, what about all these people that are becoming, or they say that they're Ned? So you mean technically they're not actually no evidence of the disease? He said, well, no. He said, I'm not saying that they're not Ned. He said, there's a possibility they could be. He said, but because the tumor's gone, don't mean there's nothing there. He said, cancer is on a cellular level. I'm not talking about my phone, like cells in your body, a cellular level. And he said, because it's on a cellular level, there's some things that the PET scan won't pick it up. So he said, don't get me wrong. He's like, your results and where you are right now is outstanding. He said, it's not actually the norm, but it's not like so unique and that it's rare either. But he was like, man, you're doing really good with it. Enjoy that. He told me, keep living your life, doing what you're doing. So we left, and I don't know. I think we just kind of, I don't know. It's like it took the wind out of us a little bit. We thought that we were going to get a little bit more than just that, but hey, that's what he told me. And then just back to business as usual. So I wanted to just give you an update on that, and overall with my liver enzymes and everything else in my body, my kidneys and stuff like that, the numbers fluctuate. Like my blood work, it just depends, nothing has been like just really crazy out there, like bad, but some blood work is better than others. I just wanted to put that out there also. But yeah, we just went back to, business as usual, and just going to my appointments. Like every 2 weeks or so, I have some type of an interaction or appointment with the cancer center, and just taking it day by day, But that was an interesting topic. I don't know if I really get into it on this one, but that's something that's on my mind that I think about when I hear so many people talking about being Ned, like no evidence of the disease. I'm just thinking to myself, like, are you sure that there's no evidence of the cancer? Because if what my doctor says is true, and I trust my doctor, that if it's on a cellular level, how can you actually truly be like no evidence of the disease, like you're cured? Because I tell you, I don't think not a day go by, because I'm pretty active in the support groups, mainly from a listening standpoint or just a reading standpoint. I don't really have a lot of input. I try to save my input and share my thoughts with y'all on here, because you never know where people are at in their journey, and I don't want to be offensive to anybody in that support group, or especially when they're reporting some good news to them. I want to be very supportive of everybody in their journey. But you hear people say all the time, well, the only way to become cancer free is with the Whipple surgery. And I don't know. I have my own opinion about that. I don't want to say like very stringent, like I think that's bad information being put out. But I tell you what, there's a lot of people that I've ran across, like I said in my first video, that have got the Whipple surgery that's no longer here today. For whatever the reason, whether it was a reoccurrence, it comes back, or it spread, whether it's something that went wrong during recovery, they didn't start chemo quick enough to clean up the Whipple surgery itself. I mean, it could be a number of reasons, but there's people that I run into that they're so adamant about that Whipple surgery. Like it's the truth. Like no matter if you get that, you are golden. You're good to go. And I tell you right now, that's not actually true. I'm gonna be honest with you. From what I've read and what I've researched about it, there's no guarantees with this. I told somebody the other day, it was like a month ago, because I kept seeing, you know how you see somebody put out so much bad information in a support group, and I don't really care about the guy sharing the bad information. That's fine, because to him, his defense, it's not bad. But I'm looking at it as it's bad information based off of who your audience is, because you don't know when whoever shows up to that group, just like when I showed up to it, you're in a state of panic because you've just read just enough to terrify you about pancreatic cancer, especially if you're stage 4, you've read enough about it just to put you in just straight panic mode. And then when you have somebody on top of that telling you like, hey, the only way for you to be cured is if you was to qualify for that surgery, or this is, if you're from this demographic group or ethnic group, you have a higher chance in getting it. If you eat this type of food, you have a really high chance of getting it. If you smoke, you have a higher risk in getting it. So I listened to this guy say this the whole time, and the first thing I did, I said, you know what, I got to respond to this. So I pretty much gave them a rundown of everything that I went through up to that point and where I was at that time. Because at that time when I commented back, that's when I got my doctor telling me that there was no evidence of the disease itself based off a PET scan in my body. And that's, for me, that was a long journey. Even though it seemed like it happened in such a short time, it was still a long journey. So I gave them all my results, and it was more or less not trying to brag about doing everything the wrong way or saying, haha, I smoked the whole time. I did this, I did that. I ate what I wanted to eat. I did this, and voila, I am totally no evidence of the disease. Good to go. Because I know everybody's results will vary. Mileage will vary with this. I know that. But I was more or less saying that for the person that was on the receiving end of it can understand, like, look, take this information, take any information you get about pancreatic cancer with a grain of salt. Every case is unique. Every case is unique to the person who has it. There's no two cases that are just alike, because my blood work is never going to be the same as somebody else's blood work. My response to Lynparza is never going to be the same as somebody else's. Now, you may meet people in your journey that y'all may have some similar experiences, or y'all are having some type of similar treatments, so you can kind of maybe bounce questions off of them. But everybody's journey is different. And especially with me having the BRCA1 genetic mutation, my journey is going to be significantly different from someone who doesn't have no genetic mutation at all. It might be even different from somebody who has the BRCA2. Everybody's journey is different. And I think we lose sight of that along the way, mainly because of bad information being given to us. So, again, back to that story, I was sitting there and I just kind of like told them flat out. And I literally laid it out on Front Street in front of everybody in the group. Like, I tell them, like, during my treatment process, I was very reckless. And I was reckless for my own reason. I'm not saying it was right. I'm not saying, oh, I was this way because I don't value life. It has nothing to do with that. Psychological, or, the psychology of that, there's a lot of things that were going on in my mind. I didn't know if I was ever going to wake up the next day. So I didn't put a lot of stock in anything. I was like, you know what? If this is what it's going to be, then hey, I'm going to eat what I want to. I'm going to eat what I want to eat. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to smoke. I'm going to do anything I want to do because I'm going to be happy going out this door, or whatever. So that was kind of my thought process. So I was telling them that to tell the person that was on the receiving end of that, where they were getting that encouragement or information, it was a different type of encouragement. It was just showing you how reckless I was. And again, I had to let him know, like, I'm not bragging about this. I'm not. It's not a flex move. It's not me trying to say, see, I did what I want to do, so you can do what you want to do and you'll still be okay. No, it was just to show the person that the information this guy is giving you, it doesn't apply to all. But he's presenting it like it's the gospel, and it's not. And I want to counteract what his information was, because there's no way he's going to counteract mine and say, well, that's not true. I'm like, I'm living it. It is true. This is what my journey was up to this point. So I just wanted to let you know that, that's kind of, I think I may have got off, off script here with talking about that. But it was just kind of let them know, like, when I hear people talk about that the only way this is treatable or to have a fighting chance is to have a Whipple surgery. And I'm just like, I'm okay with where I am right now. I'm good with that. I've heard good things about the Whipple, but I've heard a lot of bad things that come with the risk of getting that surgery. But I've even seen where doctors have written medical references or did studies, and they would say the same thing, like, the Whipple surgery is the only way to have a fighting chance at this. So if doctors are putting it out, I mean, I know where the patients, the ones that are in these support groups, are getting the information from. So I just I leave it alone. And again, whenever I get information from anybody, and I'm telling you that even about me, you get this information, you take it with a grain of salt, because again, every person's case is very unique to them and to them only. So I want to definitely be forthcoming with you with that and let you know. So next thing I'll talk about would be probably the side effects. So I think the last time I talked to you, I told you that I had a lot of fatigue. I still have a lot of fatigue. That hasn't changed, not by a lot. Now, even with my doctor reducing my medication or the dosage from 600 milligrams a day to 400 milligrams, did it make that much of a difference? A little bit. Did it make enough for me to tell? Not really. But I don't know. Well, I don't know if I'll say if it didn't make enough for me to tell. Maybe it did. But because I've been fatigued for so long, it's hard to tell the difference. I got a routine when I wake up, and I have to eat the first thing when I wake up after I drink my coffee and all that. So then when I take my my 2 pills for the morning time, and I usually take it by between 9 and 9:30, I have to lay back down, and then I get up around noonish, and then I start my day, and I usually take another nap around probably by 4:30 or 5. So then I get up again at probably like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock when my wife's getting ready to go to work. I see her out the door, and I take my nighttime meds, and then I come back in and I'll fiddle around, watch TV for a little bit, and I'm going back to bed again. So my schedule, as you can see, there's a lot of sleep in my schedule. And I know last time I talked to you, I said I was going to try to get better about working out. I do need to do that. And hopefully by the time I make my next video, that I'll have some information about that and how I feel with that. I've tried it before since then, but not enough for me to really comment on it. I did a lot of walking on the treadmill and everything. So there's really no excuse besides my fatigue of why I can't be working out right now. So that's something else that I'll definitely start monitoring that and try to put that out in the next video. Oh, I will tell you one little scare I had, and when I went to my appointment with my doctor on, I want to say the appointment was on February 3rd. At that appointment, my doctors usually, he'll ask me what's going on with my body. And I can't believe I almost forgot this too. This is a very important part. So I told him, I said, there was about 3 weeks ago, I was having some discomfort in my left side over by where my heart is. Now, I'm just saying my heart as a reference point. I'm not saying it was my heart, nothing like that. I'm just giving you a reference point of where the discomfort was. So I told my doctor about that because my wife was nudging me like, hey, you need to tell the doctor about that. And I had those discomfort, those dull little pains probably for about a week. I had it a week straight. So when I said that, I was just thinking like, oh, my doctor's going to, he's going to say, since it went away, no big deal. But it got his attention. He was like, hey, if you ever feel that again, he looked at me really serious. He said, if you ever feel discomfort like that again, you need to go directly to the emergency room. He said, don't come here, go directly to the emergency room. And I was like, well, why is that? He said, the issue with that is because you have cancer and everything. He said, a lot of times, you can get blood clots really easy. And he said, you don't want to have a blood clot anywhere close to your heart. You don't want that. So he said it could have been a blood clot. It could have just cleared itself out because your blood is a lot thicker now. So he told me that. He said, don't play around with that. He said, if you ever feel that discomfort come back, you need to go directly to the emergency room. He said, once you get there, you let them know you have stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And he said, there's a different set of like tests that are done. So the doctor there will know exactly what to do with that. He said, because it's a different type of scan you have to get. He said, you do have to get a scan, but it's not what you think it is. It's not the PET scan or CT scan like that. It's a different type of scan that really checks for blood clots and stuff. And he said that doctor would order that and you would get that type of scan just to see, because he's like, you don't want to have no blood clots at all, period, but you definitely don't want them near your heart or anything. So that was the only little scare that I had. But since that appointment, since me telling my doctor about it, I've had no other issues with it. There's no pain at all. It feels fine, everything now. But that was the one issue that I did have, that I did bring up to my doctor from the last time I seen him to then. So I'm trying to think if I'm caught up on everything of telling you. But I'm going to try to get better about putting these videos out. I promise I am. Because like I said, there's so much stuff that happens. I wouldn't say, well, daily there's something happening. I mean, I could do this vlog like every day because there's always something I'm doing, or I could take you through my routine of how I do my day, which is very simple. It's nothing crazy, but I could take you through that and let you know how I'm coping, how I'm living with it. But I would say as of right now, you figure if I was diagnosed in December at that time, December 2023, I was given 1 year to live. And you're talking about now we're at December, January, February. Yeah, we're at, like 14 months. So I'm 2 months overdue. I mean, I'm not making light of it. I'm just saying 2 months past what they gave me, what my shelf life would be. So I can't complain. I really can't. I can't say that I'm disappointed in the results, but it's just to let you know, when people tell you this is how much time you have, take it with a grain of salt. I had doctors at the Cancer Center of Excellence in another city, tell me that. It wasn't my doctor. My doctor referred me, my oncologist referred me to a cancer center when I first started my treatment. Like, it was a hospital that he referred me to, not this one I go to now for my routine treatments. And they're the ones that gave me that diagnosis of, would give you 12 months, to live. So, again, right now I'm over that time period right now. I feel just fine. I don't feel like anything's going wrong. But I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit up here and sugarcoat it. Do I still live looking over my shoulder? Yes, I do. I think even if I was living right, and what I mean by living right, it means if I was doing everything the right way, eating the right foods, doing everything I need to do to live a healthy life, do I still think I would be looking over my shoulder? Yes, I do. Do I look over a little bit more because I'm not all the way up to doing everything the right way, yeah, I probably do with that also. So, um, I don't think no one ever stops living that life looking over their shoulder. Excuse me. Because you're always going to think that at any time this could come back and this could change my life again. Or I may not have the same results that I had the first time of dealing with it going into remission. So it does feel good being in remission. I tell people, I hope it stay that way. I think most folks I talk to, they're like, well, man, you should be happy. You're in remission. Like I am happy to a degree. I'm happy, but I know the reality of it and what could happen if it comes back. So, you just live each day, take each day one at a time, and just go from there with it and hope for the best. So, I know this upcoming year, me and my wife will still do vacations and go places and stuff, but it's not so much of a rush like it was when I first got, notified of me having this cancer. We were trying to do as much as we can, like really quick, because we just never knew. But now we slowed down a little bit, went back to kind of a regular life and everything. So we're just kind of chugging along, doing what we have to do with that. But I think I'm going to cut this video off. I know I probably talked way longer than I was supposed to for this one. But like I said, I'm going to start trying to come out with these more often so they can be shorter videos and just kind of give you a little bit of information day by day and just talk to you, let you know what's on my mind. Because every day, man, I have like different thoughts. I'll think about different things, and whether it comes to the cancer treatment, the cancer itself, progress they're making with coming up with treatment and curing this and all that. There's so much that's always on my mind with it. And I'll definitely start trying to put more videos out and kind of talk to y'all about that. And then I can hear what your comments are, what you have to say in the comment section. Excuse me. Because you may have somebody that's dealt with this, and you may know somebody that's currently dealing with it, or you may be dealing with it. And you can say, hey, this is what I've done to deal with that particular issue. So I'll get better about that. But that's going to be it for this video. If you like this video and you want to see more like this, hey, don't forget to subscribe. And I'll definitely see you in the next video.